Welcome back to an episode of Unranked Podcast. Coming to you all after a weekend. First time in a couple weeks. Michigan was victorious, or the Detroit Lions were victorious. That game was probably over at halftime, for being honest.
Yep.
We're gonna go ahead and dive into both games, what we liked and just what we thought about both games, and then obviously talk about Oregon rolling into town for Michigan, and then the Lions heading up to Green Bay for a big. This is like a big heavyweight divisional matchup. So yeah, I'll kick it over to you, E. We'll start off with Michigan playing against little brother, victorious for the third season in a row. What were your thoughts on the game and how it went down?
I guess I was happy just for them to come out fighting. I think I picked them to win on here, but I even kind of in my heart of hearts, that was my fan talking more than what I kind of really thought. And we came out fighting, and that was, one thing I will say about this squad is they did not give up. I think a lot of different teams would have found a way to go out and lose that game, just come out flat. Kind of hot potato with your quarterback, your star running back, cover of NCAA is not playing well this year. Defense isn't the defense we're used to. So all of that considered, I kind of anticipated them to come out flat, and they didn't. They came out. I think State scored first, and then we roared back. Kind of a weird, funky game where throughout the game I was nervous where I thought obviously when our quarterback plays that bad, when nothing's really popping, you're one play away from kind of having this be an entirely different ball game. But I always kind of felt like we were in the driver's seat of the game, and kind of controlling. We looked more energetic on offense. We were pulling plays out of our ass, running back pass plays. The quarterback was making nice throws, Davis Warren. So it was, all in all, I think it was a solid dub. Kind of defend the home turf, and Sherrone Moore kept the boys fired up.
Mhm.
I heard he's the first Michigan coach to, obviously in split seasons, weird situation, but first coach to beat Ohio, Penn State, and Michigan State in their first try or something along those lines. So
Mm.
he's coming out big versus real opponents.
Yeah,
Put together another solid game plan, and it's hard to win when you don't know what production you're going to get at your quarterback. And it also makes you wonder if we could mimic that exact production, a couple of timely third down throws, a couple of throws down the field, and our offense was doing fine. Running back seemed to sputter a little more than anything. So,
yeah.
it's kind of a shift in tide as far as that goes. But I was a little nervous of Aiden Child's arm. I thought he could light us up if given the right circumstances. But down Will Johnson, defensive backs played big.
Yeah.
D-line had moments where they were disruptive, especially in the run game. So, overall, I think it was a good, solid win. I don't think State's all that much. They've obviously played a couple of tough teams over the last few weeks, but I think they've kind of already did their trick. They're one trick pony. They've kind of already showed you everything they're
Yeah.
going to this year, and I'm hoping Michigan can take this bit of momentum that this is and kind of roll into another game. But kind of, I guess,
Mhm.
overall, what are your thoughts? I know we didn't know who was going to be starting at quarterback. We want
Yeah.
to drop off in the last couple of days here due to just stepping down retirement. But kind of what are your general thoughts on handling Michigan State again, and kind of bringing them fan base back down to earth?
Yeah. Yeah. No, so I think like you said, kind of walking into a lot of like unknown. I think for me, like back in my mind, I'm just like, we should have enough talent just to kind of strong arm them, into, to be able to win. And they came out guns blazing. I mean, it got a little dicey there. We definitely dodged a bullet with them missing that field goal to start the game because we could have really been down
Yeah.
like 10-0. Even getting down 7-0, I was a little nervous just because of like, this team isn't a team that can really get behind, that much. And we haven't really seen them be able to do well when they get behind in games. But Davis Warren, I mean, hell, I feel like O-line would have been a little more tightened up earlier in the season. He might have been, the guy to kind of go like him and Orji, like that package. It looked great. With him, Orji ran for like 80 yards. He's got to give them both credit too. They both been starting, both been benched. to kind of come in and just do their thing. That's just the team. That's just it's like a Michigan staple. So it's good to just see them come through. Run game was a little shaky besides Orgy. But I think, like you said, the defense, they came in, they played a tough game. Had a lot of rush yards. Didn't love just kind of seeing us get gassed the way we were. Guy in Carter went like 20 carries for a buck 18. So there's still just kind of some oil leaking on the defensive side of the ball,
Yeah,
when it comes to Wake Martindale and some of the stuff he's doing. But I think, man, at the end of the day, it's kind of how this season's went. Yeah, you take these W's, any way you can get them. And like you said, just hoping that we can, take this momentum in the next week against Oregon.
yeah. I wanted to mention that I completely blanked on just kind of the special package they did with Orgy. Um, and you could argue both ways. You would say if Davis Warren played like this, he probably wouldn't have lost his spot. And if they would have worked in this package with Orgy from the beginning, you probably wouldn't. We wouldn't have seen the kind of the quarterback carousel that we have seen. So I think
Yeah.
Orgy, whether it was, I don't believe it was just strictly off making the right read, because I feel like often when he played, he just would refuse to keep the ball and on a read option. And this time it seemed like he almost every time kept it, and it was very very
Yeah, like a lot of design
a
runs.
lot of yards, a lot of just
Six
tough
carries,
runs. Yes,
64 yards.
yep. So that, I mean, you'll take that every day, 10 yards a pop. And I felt like he almost broke a couple of those. He was a block away, a shoestring tackle away from, probably having like 5 carries for 100 yards. He
Yeah.
was very, very
Especially
uh
that last one when he just kind of like iced the game. He probably
yeah,
could have.
he definitely could have won that one. So
Yeah.
I probably would have, but that's me.
He
I
took
forgot he
he
just
hit
kind
the
of slid
goalpost
and took it. Yeah, no,
and
fuck
got him
that.
up
I'm
out of
low on the
there.
shoulder. But no, in general, I think you can build on that a little bit. I don't know. Part of me says, just going to the Oregon game here, part of me says, I don't, it's hard to root against our squad, because I do think we are capable of beating anybody, and that includes Oregon, that includes Ohio.
Mhm.
Um, it's just such a roll of the dice of who's going to show up and how that looks. I'm hoping another week of success under Davis Warren belt. Another just kind of the rhythm between him and Orgy doing those special packages.
Yeah,
Another week of Loveland getting his arm back. I just think hopefully we can kind of build upon that and just not get embarrassed. I think that's the biggest thing is just come out here and play Big Ten football, control the line of scrimmage, and hopefully try to beat some of these boys up. I think Oregon's obviously a very, very stout team, top to bottom. And we said this about Texas, but also a similar predicament to us where they bring in a lot of starters back.
Mhm.
From a disappointment team that lost in either the Pac-12 championship or maybe the
Yeah.
national
Pac-12 chip,
championship.
yeah. Guess they spot the playoff. Yeah,
Yeah. So, I think they're coming all firing on all cylinders. Defend the home turf, establish the run, and them timely throws. I think if those things hit, we can go toe to toe with almost anybody. Now we do have kind of one hand tied behind our back. Whether Will Johnson be out there, a couple other factors like that. But this Oregon squad is very formidable. I think you just have to. I think this would be a test for the coaches more so than the players. If you can put
yeah,
together a good game plan, this let me know that Sharon Moore is legit. This let me know Wink put together a game plan for us on this one that we confused them. This let me know, okay, maybe you should hang around another year. Same with Kirk Campbell. Just kind of if you can give up the pass happiness and kind of establish the run, not be too vanilla as far as, hey, everybody knows we're running on first down. Oh, we didn't get no yards passing on second down, fighting for life on third down. If you can get out of that monotony of that, anything's possible. But
for sure.
I have an upward battle here. They're probably blood hungry. Even though we don't have the
Yeah,
record, we're still the reigning champs. And people know that we're feisty. We come out and we can't compete with anybody. So they know that they can't come and play lackadaisical.
for sure. Yeah, no, I think I remember Colson Loveland after they lost to Illinois, he just kind of mentioned that they just got to play spoiler from here on out. And yeah, I mean, no better way to to do that than to, knock off the number one team in the country. And they, coming to our house this weekend. But like you said, I mean, this is going to be like, I do feel like if we get Will Johnson back, that'll make all the different, make a huge difference as far as just from a defensive side of the ball. But like you said, it's really going to be on the coaches. Like, how can we find a way to like play this game in a phone booth? I'd say that we kind of have the formula, like, playing against Ohio, Washington, Texas, but the formula seemed like it might be out of the window after playing against Texas to where,
Yeah.
Stop the run, make teams one dimensional, and just kind of let them get all these yards and just kind of hold them to field goals or, one or two touchdowns once they get into the red zone. But yeah, if we're able to find a way to, get a lead, move the ball effectively, I think we can definitely, stay in the game, for a good period of time. But um, overall, it does look like a tall task. And like you said, I'll just be curious to see how the coaching staff, how Sharon Moore is able to, what kind of game plan he's able to put together to just make this a street fight, essentially. Because we really can't let it be a shootout like how it was with them playing Ohio out in Oregon. Like, we don't have the firepower for that. So we got to find a way to play this game in a phone booth.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good analogy. Just kind of, I mean, you know how it goes, but you establish the run, you keep their offense off the field. You establish the run, you help our quarterback out, you help our pass game out. So I think it starts with the big boys up front. Can we move? Can we be man movers? Can we, control the line of scrimmage, move the defenders out the way, and just kind of get that, 4.5 to 4 to 5 yards a pop on the run game. And then just play smart. I think that Orji thing works. I think you see the talent he has out there. He is a phenomenal athlete with the ball in his hand. Whether he can pass the ball is that's up in the air. But as far as him coming around, big guard in front of him, fullback in front of him, he's one of the better guys in the Big Ten, and I feel very comfortable saying that
Yeah.
very limited sparts. He's terrifies defenses. So
Mm-hmm.
I think just having that out there, that they're having to plan for 2 game plans. So it is largely on our coaching staff, like you said, just to kind of murky the waters enough where we can keep it close. Whether we finally break a punt return, finally break a kick return, Dillon Gabriel gives the ball up on an interception or sack fumble, something along those lines. Just find ways to get points on the board without our offense having to do it. I don't think we've had a touchdown outside of on defensive special teams since Will Johnson. And that's been
Start the season off with a couple.
yep, and that's been going on 4 weeks or so now at least. As far as not having any traction on that. And I definitely a tall task. And you look at somebody like Oregon, they went out and got a quarterback in transfer portal, Dillon Gabriel, and they don't miss a stride. So I think, just to further talk about the coaching staff, that's something we have to look to as well this year. We already had Tuttle retire in the middle of the season. We all believe Orgy's gone. I think Davis Warren's got to be out of here. He's got to be a fifth year, 6-year senior. So that quarterback room is looking pretty wide open right about now. And I think you turn and look to see what your own previous coaches have done in Harbaugh. You go and get a quarterback if you need one. Shea Patterson, O'Korn. You look and see what Oregon's did. You look to see what Ohio did with Will Dave Howard. All my thing to say is this is one of the games where I'm looking at the coaches just to kind of put together that game plan for us, man. Let us believe in something. I think more so than any other sport, coaches have an effect on how things can play out. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you want to start off with the score prediction?
Yeah. No, okay. So I think I said in a little pre-production before we hopped on. I think it's honestly going to be. I don't know. It's tough to say. I'm hoping it'll turn out very favorable, but I'm thinking somewhere around the Texas ball game score. So I'll go 34-17.
Okay. I'm gonna just say like 26-24 Michigan. We might get a couple turnovers. Like coming over here, East Coast. Maybe it's because I don't think they've had to come over here all that often, or once or twice, once maybe, but I don't think they have had to yet. So
Yeah.
State went out there, Ohio went out there. So yeah, 26-24. I think we'll find a way to get a couple points, score a couple points. Defense will play lights out, and 50-yard field goal by Samaha um to win it.
You take
So
it? Hey, I'm with.
yeah,
Hey, I'll be tied to my seat if that happens. I'm hoping. Let's just stay away from that. 42-10, 42-7.
right.
Let's stay away from.
Yeah, like
Let's have a little bit of fight, a little bit of pride to the helmet, to the jersey, and
for sure.
yeah. No, I'm with it though. If we pull one off, I don't give a shit if it's 3-0. I'll be talking shit the rest of the week.
5-0,
Yeah.
7. Yeah, no, without a doubt. So yeah, no, we'll shift gears here. Like I said, Lions had a hell of a game, a weird game. Goff, 85 pass yards, threw like 3 touchdowns, touchdown on special teams. Dave Montgomery threw a touchdown. Jameer Gibbs, he did his Chris Johnson, went 75, hit the little dance in the end zone. Just a great all around game, but like I said, a weird one. Um, in a way to where it was like it didn't look great, but it looked great at the same time, at least in my opinion. But I'll kick it over to you to just, see your thoughts how we looked against the Titans.
Yeah, overall I would say I'm not going to complain too much.
Right.
The, the most alarming thing, if you just look at the score, you would say, oh, you must have had a game of your life. Then you dive into it. Yeah, Golf didn't have that great of a game. Um, uh, Montgomery didn't have that great of a game, but it was kind of out of necessity. I seen somebody, I'm stealing this from a guy's tweet I seen online, but it said the Lions are stuck in some weird time warp where they keep starting the ball like in a college football overtime. Like we kept getting the ball on the 25.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happens when, I think we had I think I'd be interested to see our like average starting position, but we definitely got the ball, I want to say 3 times inside like the 30 to start the drive off. And
Hmm.
um you do that and you pop a kick return and your running back goes for 70 up the sideline. You're going to get some funky stats, but also that's hard to keep up with. Sitting there at my folks' house watching the game, my dad stepped out for not even 2 seconds, and that's when the punt return happened. My dad came in, he was like, "We scored again." It was, it was kind of, it was very, very surreal. Just us, 3 and out, and then they were like kind of stuck on stupid, just kicking to them. So, the team itself, there's things that terrify me a little bit as far as pass rush seems to be very inadequate. You
Yeah.
go, you want to beat Mahomes, you're gonna have to deal with that. You want to beat any playoff team, we'll have to see about what Green Bay or not. I watched this little breakdown of, and not to get too much in that game, but just watch this little breakdown of before and after Hutch and just how much of a disruptor he is. And I think we're gonna have to find ways to maintain our defensive back. What's the word I'm looking for? Just our defensive back integrity, but also send blitzes a little more. Make
Right.
it up where quarterbacks just don't feel like they can sit back and take us apart. We were going against Tennessee Titans. Both you can combine both the quarterbacks on their roster, and they still wouldn't be very worth talking about. So
Yeah.
I look at it from Mason Rudolph, and that's Jordan Love is no Mason Rudolph. You got CJ Stroud the next couple of weeks. That's no Rudolph. So I think we're gonna have to find ways to get these quarterbacks off their mark. But overall, just a static as the all phases of the game came into play.
Right.
Offense, Golf had a crazy stat line. I mean, 12 with like 80 yards and 3 touchdowns. That doesn't even seem like some real stats. A lot of our offensive starters were pulled. Most of the fourth. So I think we kind of this is the type of things you want to do for a championship type team. Stay conservative, and just get away with that blowout win. You don't do anything to cost yourself future games. But the team itself is fiery. I'm in love with just defensive backs, whether it's Branch, Kirby Joseph. I think those are 2 future All Pros, and I know quarterbacks hate to come play us because of them. So
Hmm.
overall, I'll just try to sum it up. I think a solid game, a great game, honestly, but just kind of a weird one when you consider,
Right.
scoring that many points in an unorthodox way. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, you hit it on the head. Like you said, won't dive into like the bad stuff is, but we already know like what the glaring thing is really. I'm glad that the secondary is a lot stronger, this year. To where, last year we were like pass rush was, coming great from one side, but we're kind of getting gashed through the air. And we did kind of start to get gashed a little bit through the air. Calvin really had a career day, against us, which is kind of tough to see. But like you said, won't dwell too much on that. But this is great to see a team firing on all cylinders. They kind of came out, you always will get a team's best shot for a quarter and a half, couple quarters, especially a team like Tennessee that's about to,
fire
send us
sale.
a pass rusher or two, hopefully the next week. They kind of is out there kind of giving their all for about a half, and then we really just start to put the pedal to the floor midway through the second quarter, put the foot on the neck, third quarter, 17 points in the third, and just great to see, the run game. That's one thing. So won't go too much in the bad stuff, but I don't know. Sometimes feel like get a little too pass happy, but you see that run game start to really open things up, and it's just like, why don't we
Yeah.
just stay with this? Why don't we just, And I know, you always laugh at me for being so heavy on the run, but there be reasons. I just feel like, especially the way that Decker's looking, last couple weeks. Golf came out of this game a little banged up, which kind of sucks to see. Rolled his ankle, didn't practice today, so you just hope that we learned from the little mistakes here and there, what kind of went like between the lines of the game overall to be able to carry that over to clean that stuff up when we go up to Green Bay this weekend. And that's gonna be an interesting matchup. Just kind of
It is.
the page here because Love is a little banged up. Could very well be Malik Willis because they have a bye week next week, which is interesting. I feel like I'd probably maybe want to see Love because I don't Malik Willis running around.
Yeah.
That might get a little crazy. And Love, he got like a groin injury, so at least he'll be running's not his thing either. Or anyways, so O line's looking a little banged up. But yeah, overall, I think a big opportunity for us to like you hit it right on the head, like a measuring stick game. I mean, this is going to be, we got two heavyweight bouts pretty much the last couple weeks going to the Vikings,
Yep.
going to Green Bay. And these are the games that like you want to, if you can go get this one, you can go steal this one. Like you can really, really put the pressure on them when they got to come to Detroit. Same with, the Vikings. They got to come to Detroit last game of the season and see us. Green Bay got to come to Detroit, I think on like a Thursday, in like, like a month and a half or something something like that from now. So, I'd love to see us just establish the run, get a lead, really to help our defense, like more than anything. Just give them one score, 10-point lead maybe, and have them, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch just kind of playing center field and get a turnover or two if it is Jordan Love or Malik Willis. The Jordan Love, do love giving that ball
Yeah.
up quite a bit. So
No, I do know Jordan Love has been banged up a little bit. I don't know. I just kind of feel like I kind of get the feeling that he's going to come up. He's going to go play.
I agree. Yeah.
He missed the first couple of weeks. I think Malik Willis got to start like 2 weeks, maybe 1 week at the start of the year. Malik Willis, another guy, kind of obviously had all the hype in the draft. Got took like
Yeah.
third round or something. Kind of did not have a good showing at Tennessee. Ended up here revitalizing his career a little bit. I would have to say obviously the running scares me a little bit, but I think Jordan Love is a very phenomenal quarterback. And he puts a little more fear into me than Malik Willis, even with the running considered.
For
So
sure.
I just think I almost said this earlier, but I read that we are the line the no Green Bay is I think the second best or no, what is it? Either way, we're exact opposites. We have had like over the last month, we've had like 3 sacks, and in Jordan, and they have given up like 3 sacks.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like a battle of rock me in the hard place here. So somebody's gonna have to break on that, or maybe it'll just be a stalemate as far as it'll cancel itself out. But I want to see a formidable pass rush. If not, I think we got to be on the phone, Sunday night trying to figure something out. I think we kind of said this before, but I wonder if as the weeks continue, if the defensive backs will start to suffer a little bit, having to guard for another second longer, having to guard for a second and a half longer. When Hutch was having a guy run around, even if it ended up being an incompletion, because Hutch is just providing that the pressure on him. That's a little bit less guard coverage time for Terry and Arnold, for Carlson Davis, for whoever, Kirby Joseph. I think
Yeah.
you you remove Hutch out of that situation. I wonder. I mentioned it a week or two ago, and this seemed to not be that big of a deal because we've been coming out just lighting teams up, but
Hmm.
you see the little cracks in the defense, and I think as us as fans realize that, hopefully the owners and GM and their staff could see, okay, this is, we've given this many yards, like you said, somebody had a career day versus last week, but it kind of goes under the radar when you consider everything else. But that could be a slight red flag that, okay,
Hmm.
some things are happening around here. And if that can happen with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, what happens when you play CJ Stroud? What happens when you play Jordan Love? So I this is a great measuring stick game. It's impossible to expect your team to come out and score damn near 50 points every week. So I expect kind of the team to come back to earth a little bit here sooner or later. And if not, hey, we're flying, drop the whole bank on them to the Super Bowl if we're going to put 50 up every week. But
Yeah.
if we can have an adverse game, but we got to win a game only putting up 20, can we do that? If we got to win a game putting up 24, whatever, So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to. And Golf, just I know he was banged up and just kind of a weird. I think he got his ankle stepped on, or he rolled his ankle or something, and
Yeah.
uh,
Different shots for sure.
and obviously he got pulled a little early just due to the score of the game. But I think back like what you said, that run game helps that. You establish the run game, it makes his job a lot easier. And he can sit back and just kind of pick teams apart, with his 80 something percent completion percentage over the last couple of weeks. Just keep doing that. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't. Like I said, it's a good test. I like how we showed up against Minnesota, and I feel like like we was able to handle Justin Jefferson. He didn't go too crazy on us. He actually had offensive pass interference that didn't get called.
yeah,
That's not neither here or there. But yeah, I mean, if we can find a way to just get a turnover, that's one thing too. Like we need the defense to kind of find ways to get a turnover. I mean, you see guys like punching the ball out. Amik Robertson punched the ball a couple of times last week. Brian Branch probably had the best punch that I've seen where it just bounced off the guy's
yeah,
knee,
yeah.
rolled inbounds. He was able to,
Campbell
off.
had one.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So we're just, doing a great job. And I'm sure that's what Aaron Glenn is preaching. He's like, don't have Hutch, from a pass rush standpoint. So we got to find ways to, obviously want to bring guys to the ground, but also find ways to get our hands on the ball, and be able to give the offense another chance at, putting up some more points. And like I said too, I think I told you a few weeks back, like this is like golf, like we just need perfect football on offense.
yep,
Now I think we finally definitely hit our stride. Like after the Seattle game, that was like the get right game to where I think we really humming on offense now. And I like too, in the midst of all of this, we're also going to Green Bay when the weather is still solid. So
yeah.
you know, we should
I feel like
have,
for 10
uh,
years we were playing them on like December 28th out in
yeah.
Green. Like
I mean, even 2 years ago, we played them January 6th or something like that, the 7th, the last game of the season. Send Aaron Rodgers off in style. But yeah, it's nice to get out there before it get too dicey. Um, so yeah, I guess that being said, score prediction.
yeah, yeah. I'll jump out. I do think we're gonna come out and win this one. I think you go back to when we did the week to week of what I thought it was going to be. I had us losing one of these two next games. Um, I think obviously I hold the right to be able to pull that, but I think um, I just want to say that mention that I guess, but I would say 28. I'm gonna go 28-24. Lions. Lions
Right.
pull it out.
Yeah.
Good, good heart. I think this might be the best game of this weekend, honestly. I think both teams got a lot to fight for. Both teams got a lot to prove. And
Mhm.
I think this is one of them games where Green Bay kind of feels like they run the division, even just historically, and then we're trying to be like the emerging squad. Obviously, we won division title under our belt last year, so I think this going a long way, just getting it out of
Mhm.
your belt. And then obviously we got Caleb Williams and them, and they're not too terrifying to me anymore. So
Yeah.
kind of
That O-line, boy.
between Green Bay and the Vikings.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You look at our
for sure.
division record, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 28
Yeah,
28.
and you hit the spread right on the nose. It's we're a 3.5 point favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna say like 28-23. I think we're able to kind of jump out there, kind of we did last year, Thursday night. We just punched them in the mouth. Pretty much from the get-go. I imagine we're gonna get the ball. If we win the toss, get the ball first, try to go down, get a touch, even though I like getting the ball at half, but
Yeah.
I understand why they might want to do that now, just with how the pass rush. But I think we're gonna try to find a way to get a lead and let that secondary do their thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think 28-23. That'll be
No, I do think it'll be right in that ballpark. It's going to be a close game. I think both teams are going to make some plays, have some stops, and it's just a matter of proving who's the you know who's the top dog on this one. And
for sure.
so our team just firing on all cylinders. I wanted to mention this. It was something I just learned kind of in track, but it was always the phrase "know when to peak."
Yep.
And you can hit different peaks when throughout the season. I think right now we're at a certain pinnacle, but you kind of recalibrate.
Like, yeah.
Recalibrate,
Like
get a
all
couple
these points.
yeah, get some new guys in here, and maybe we don't, just whatever that case is.
Yeah.
You don't empty out the whole clip quite yet. I'm not saying we're doing that, but I think just to know when to peak and know when to kind of kind of go all in on things and kind of settle back. But I think right about now, we're firing on all cylinders, and it's fun to watch. Great time to be a Lions fan.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah. No, thanks for tuning in, y'all. We'll be back with y'all next Wednesday. Hopefully after a win from our Michigan Wolverines and Detroit Lions. But until next time, peace
Yes,
out.
sir. And the Pistons got the dub.
Pistons got the dub tonight. Pistons on the board. We 1-4 now.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to jinx us yet. We're up 12 with 18 seconds to go. But
okay, but they ain't got no 15-point plays in they bag over there. But yeah, no, that's great to see. What we wanted, 1-4 now. So they on the way to going like 70, 76-4, 70, whatever that 78-4.
Step by step. But no,
Right.
for sure. We'll be back at you.
Peace.